What's up, my dudes? And welcome to extreme stalling. That's what I want to call this session. This is extreme stalling part 1. So what we're going to be doing, we are going to be doing some extreme stalling, basically. It's 2 days. Like 2 days, let me see. It's 2 days and 3 hours until launch, my dudes. 2 days and 3 hours. I mean, that's not a lot, right? That's not a lot. But still, it feels like an eternity. And I have almost been going totally insane the last couple of days practicing. I've been practicing, almost going insane, barely almost making my Act 1 under 1 hour, but it's still rough. We have a couple of new videos that we're going to be checking out today. We have some rune crafting, and also we have another video. Let me see here what it's called. So we have rune crafting video, and also we have a Runes of Elder challenges and rewards. So I'm not sure, since we are doing extreme stalling, I'm not sure if these are just like clips from the reveal, or if they are actually their own videos type of thing. We will see, my dudes, when we dive into it. So, without further ado, let's become a rune seeker.
Rune shapes, inscriptions. These are my life's work. The more I studied, the more I began to see similar shapes in the stars above. It was then that I dedicated myself to becoming a rune seeker.
As Pharaoh so kindly explained, runes are very powerful and ancient inscriptions, and they can be socketed into your items to grant them more power. During the League, inscribing symbols into remnants will let you choose between a bunch of different crafting runes that you can use to enhance your items. When you come across a remnant, it has a number of slots ranging from 2 to 7. The more slots, the more powerful the remnant encounter, but the more options you'll have to choose between. At the start of the game, you might find yourself crafting simple damage or resistance runes that are available at a lower level than you would normally be able to get them, giving you a decent power boost. But things quickly get more interesting. There are 22 runes for adding or modifying Runic Ward, a new resource that can protect you from death. Using these runes, you can add an extra defensive layer, or turn your Runic Ward into an offensive...
Oh, okay, I actually didn't see that earlier. That the rune symbol inside the health globe is kind of like... It's depleting, or it's like decreasing. Okay, let's watch that again.
There are 22 runes for adding or modifying Runic Ward, a new resource that can protect you from death.
So as soon as like your rune ward kicks in, right? This symbol, almost like a little bit similar to like energy shield type of color. Like this symbol is gonna it's glowing now, but it's gonna like get lesser and lesser of that.
Using these runes, you can add an extra defensive layer, or turn your Runic Ward into an offensive weapon, using Kalguran runic skills.
So that's really interesting. Like, I was really wondering about that, to be honest, like how that was actually gonna work. Because what I actually thought was that, yes, we're gonna enter like this state of like Runic Ward, but I didn't expect it to be so visual that we can actually like see the ward like we can see energy shield or just the health globe in general, like, you know, moving up and down, basically. So that's very interesting.
Defensive layer, or turn your runic ward into an offensive weapon using Kalguran runic skills.
That looks so cool.
There are also 13 runes that add powers specific to weapon types, like this one which gives a chance for grenades to explode.
13 runes. Okay. Okay, so so are the ancient runes, are they gonna be like the weapon specific ones, I wonder?
A second time. Or this one, which gives you a new buff called Druidic Prowess.
Okay, this is a different one. Yeah, this is a talisman one. Gain 2 Druidic Prowess when you heavy stun a rare or unique enemy. Yeah, Druidic Prowess is a stacking buff, which grants 10% increased skill speed, and causes hits with spell damage to grant 3 rage per stack for 10 seconds. Okay. Each stack has an independent duration. Maximum 3 stacks. Okay.
When heavy stunning enemies. In addition, there are 22 runes designed to give you power at low levels.
Okay, 22 low level runes. Okay.
Like this one, which gives you a bunch of elemental resistances.
What? But what the heck? This doesn't make sense. Like, why does it say minus 10% to all maximum elemental resistances and plus 20% to all elemental resistances? Okay, so basically, like the cap for resistances right now is at 75%, right? So basically what it's gonna do, right, it's gonna lower it down to 65. But when we are low leveled, we are not gonna be like, so like our resistances are not gonna be great at lower levels. So it's really not gonna matter that like the maximum cap is kind of lowered a little bit. When we are actually getting, so like in a situation where we are maybe like maximum at like 10 or 15 of a specific elemental resistance, right? Like this is gonna be huge for the elemental resistance at a low level, but because of the reduction to the cap, it's not gonna be something that we want to use at it's not gonna be something that we want to use at like higher levels. So I wonder what because it says here that it's limited to 1. I wonder what that means. Does that mean that we can only have 1 rune of the prism equipped? Interesting.
Or this one, which gives you a ton of spirit.
Okay, so this gives plus 50 to spirit, but minus 1 to spirit per 2 levels. Okay. Yeah, so it's really gonna be like, it's really gonna be situation based, right? So we're not gonna, I don't think we're gonna want to use these for like when we get like up in the levels, basically. But like plus 50 spirit when you are low level, that's pretty good. I mean, it gives us the option to, you know, slot another spirit gem or use another spirit buff, basically, which is really interesting because that can be really helpful early. But the minus to spirit per 2 levels, yeah, so that means like it's really like diminishing returns of this. Like the higher level you get, the higher level you get, the more spirit you're effectively gonna lose.
These runes are designed to be powerful, but drop off in value as you level up. They're great for power leveling a second character in the league. We
Okay.
also have 6 runes that can be used to expand the pool of modifiers used when doing high-level crafting. So for example, you can socket Katla's Gloom into some gloves, and it will enable the crafting of a bunch of new decay modifiers that can be used.
Okay, that's very interesting. Okay, so that's a... Okay, so let's have a look at these ones. Okay, so these are actually 6. Like, I don't know if we have seen this before. Okay, so these are interesting. So we have the Uthred's Sidrus here on top. Top left. It's for boots. Can roll chronomancy modifiers. Time was not night and day to the order of the chalice. It was the motions of the stars, the celestial patterns. To understand time was to comprehend existence itself. Interesting. Place into an empty augment socket in a pair of boots to apply its effect to that item. Once socketed, it cannot be retrieved or replaced. Bro, it can't be replaced? What? Is it? Yeah, because it's specified here that it's socket bound. So I guess like other rune types are not socket bound. But these are. Okay, so these are actually socket bound. But I guess it means that, like, chronomancy modifiers, I guess that means, like, it's going to be modifiers that are specifically, like, from the chronomancer ascendancy. Or, like, based on the chronomancer ascendancy, so probably, like, time manipulation modifiers, maybe? Really interesting. Second one here is Colors Hunt. Can roll marksman modifiers on gloves. To win over the Wild King, Alder spent a winter on the hunt with Kohler and his men. He did not land a single arrow on any stag, yet Kohler agreed to unify. It was not an arrow that mattered, it was a determined attempt. So, the same with this one as the other one. It's once socketed cannot be retrieved or replaced. My initial thoughts about the fact that it cannot be like it cannot be retrieved. I mean, I'm kind of okay with that, but that it can't be replaced. I think that's an interesting choice. So, like, why can't it be replaced? We can do that basically with any other rune that's currently in the game, but I mean, there is a lot of runes coming, so yeah. So the one on the top right here is a little bit hidden by my camera, so I'm gonna move my camera a little bit here. Let's move it to the other side here. While we are checking out the Katla's Gloom. Katla, that's the name of like a huge dragon in a Swedish fairy tale. So I'm not, like, in a big Swedish fairy tale, so I'm not Swedish, but I've read this fairy tale, Katla's Gloom. So this is a glove augment, or a glove rune. It can roll decay modifiers. So that's what he was just talking about. That was what Jonathan was just talking about. Was the decay modifiers. We're gonna see that in a second, as soon as I'm done with reading these. So that's interesting, like the decay modifiers. So these are very, like, specific. So marksman, I'm guessing that's like a ranger. It's gonna be like or like a bow focused modifier. And the decay modifiers? Bro, that's probably going to be like chaos, right? It's going to be like chaos modifiers. Okay, so we got the one on the bottom left here, the Medved's Tending. Can roll soul modifiers? Okay, so what are soul modifiers? I wonder. What kind of, like, what kind of modifiers are soul modifiers, I wonder? Do we have any information about this? What is soul modifiers? Before they joined the expedition, the druids of the Circle offered sanctuary to all criminals, descendants, and the unwanted could walk a path to redemption. Okay. Medved's Tending. Okay, so the next one we got here is the Thrud's Might. It can roll destruction modifiers. What the heck are destruction modifiers, I wonder? Thrud cared for neither diplomacy nor treaty. To end the ravaging of distant corners of Midgard, Alder challenged him to a duel. With runes, Alder fought him to a stalemate. Now power that Thrud could respect. Interesting. Destruction modifiers? So what are those gonna be, I wonder? And then we got Varana's Carnage. It can roll berserking modifiers. Okay. Bro, so I really want to see. So it would be really interesting to see already now, like, what these modifiers are gonna be. It would be really interesting to see some information about these socket-bound runes. Okay, so I'm gonna flip my camera back to the other side here. And let's keep watching. These are very interesting though. Like, I am kind of like not sure what I feel about the fact that they cannot be replaced. But I mean, we will just see how that works. Like, I can imagine that's not gonna be like that's not necessarily gonna be like a very welcome situation from the players.
Used when doing high-level crafting. So for example, you can socket Katla's Gloom into some gloves, and it will enable the crafting of a bunch of new decay modifiers.
Okay, so what are some of these decay modifiers here?
Gloom into some gloves, and it will enable the crafting of a bunch of new decay.
Okay, so what did it add there? Is it the duration of damaging ailments? I guess that wasn't there from the beginning, right?
You can socket Katla's Gloom into some gloves.
Yeah, that's the one.
It will enable the crafting of a bunch of new decay modifiers.
Okay, so 21% increased duration of damaging ailments on enemies. Okay, so that's a decay modifier.
That can be used.
Did it actually add physical damage to attacks?
Gloom into some gloves, and it will enable the crafting of a bunch of new decay modifiers that can be used for damage.
It did. Okay, so increased duration of damaging ailments. So that's a decay modifier, and also apparently the flat physical damage to attacks also is a decay. So I guess like that means like damaging specific modifiers, right? So I guess so I'm not sure if that kind of like adds from a pool of mods that's really actually not there. But as soon as you equip this rune, you are actually able to roll those modifiers. And I mean, obviously you can just keep hitting it with chaos to change it. Very interesting.
damage over time builds. After socketing
Okay. What else did it add
a bunch of
here?
new decay modifiers that can be used for damage over time builds.
Reduced attribute requirements? Bro, is that a decay? Is that also a decay modifier?
After socketing one of this type of rune, use regular exalts or chaos orbs to try and craft the new mods.
Yeah, so leech, physical attack damage as life, magnitude of poison, magnitude of bleeding, curse magnitudes. Yeah, so like, I don't know if that attribute requirement is actually, I don't think that's like a decay modifier, right? But it seems like they are kind of like damage focused, which is kind of interesting. So like damage focused specifically, it seems. So what this means though is that like you probably wouldn't do this on or so what you would have to do is that you would have to sacrifice that slot, right, on your item. You would have to sacrifice potential resistant runes there, resistance runes. And if I understood it correctly, like as soon as you put this rune in, like this type of rune right here, you can't actually replace it.
There are also several runes that have one-off powerful effects on items.
Okay. Searle's Triumph. All equipment is plus 1 suffix modifier allowed. Really? Okay, that's kind of cool, because usually it's like, it's 3 suffixes and 3 prefixes, right? So with this rune, you can actually have 4 suffixes. That's interesting.
But are bound forever into the socket. Like this.
Yeah, it's bound forever into the socket, right? So you're really gonna have to like think about when you're actually gonna use these runes. Like you're not gonna use these runes just like you're not gonna throw them around and use them all the time. Like this is really like, yeah. This is like, I would say like it's for specific, very specific situations.
One which allows any item to gain another suffix.
That's interesting.
Or this one which allows you to create a jewel socket.
A jewel socket? Bro. Yeah, now we're talking, bro. Now we are talking, bro. Okay, what rune is that? What's the name of it? It's Cadigan's Epiphany. Okay, so it destroys all augment sockets on the new item to create a jewel socket. Okay, so but it didn't look like it destroyed it.
Create a jewel socket.
It doesn't look like it's destroying the augment sockets. But is that because the rune that was already in there was one of those runes that can't be replaced? Is that why? Was that like a very clever way to actually show us that you can actually do this craft and keep the rune if you're using one of those runes that can't be retrieved or replaced? I mean, being able to add a freaking jewel into your into your equipment, it's insane. Like imagine like the items that we can create now. So I wonder if these, yes, so these are going to be like global modifiers, right? So it's not going to be so like it's going to work in a similar way as like just equipping a jewel in a jewel slot in the passive tree, right? So it's not adding those modifiers to the gloves specifically. I mean, it kind of is, but you know, it's gonna work the same way as equipping it, just putting this jewel into your passive tree in all open sockets, I guess. I'm not quite. Yeah, so I would assume that that's going to be the case. I'm not 100% sure, but I would assume, right?
Or this series of runes that can convert any elemental mod from one element to another.
Okay. Yeah, but these are also socket bound. Cannot be retrieved or replaced. Okay, so these are all for weapon, right? These are all weapon modifiers. So the Breath of Alder, when socketed, transforms all fire and lightning modifiers to equivalent cold modifiers. And it's like, it's 4 different versions of it. So we have like fire and lightning to cold. We have cold and lightning to fire with a passion. And with the ire, we have fire and cold to lightning. And with the betrayal of Alder, we have fire, cold, and lightning, turning them into equivalent chaos modifiers, bro. Very interesting. Very interesting. So this would mean, like, if you have if you so like yeah, so basically this would be great for like for a weapon that has like a lot of good like damage modifiers of a certain type, right? So let's say you are doing a build where you're using skills that's like mainly doing fire damage, right? So let's say you get this wand and it has some really nice modifiers to it, but it's like the wrong element. So basically with this rune you could basically just like turn those good cold or lightning modifiers, just turn them into fire modifiers. Yeah, so the only thing you can't do is turn chaos modifiers into like a specific element, I guess. That's the only thing you can't do. So I guess that would be like the use case for it. Let's say if you get your hands on a really nice wand that does some really nice cold or lightning damage, and you wish it was fire fire modifiers on it, you can change it now with this rune. Okay, interesting. Let's keep watching.
There's even a rune that can upgrade any other rune.
What? Masterwork rune? Upgrades a socketed rune. Is this any type of rune? Or is it only gonna be the tiered ones? Because if you have like let's say you have like a greater storm rune, like, can you use this to upgrade that to like a perfect one? That's how it's gonna work, right?
Allowing you to upgrade them beyond.
Yeah, so this was exactly the example. Like, it upgrades the greater body rune to a perfect body rune. Yeah.
On the normal limit.
Yeah. So this is only going to work on the tiered runes, right? So not all runes are tiered. Bro, imagine if you could upgrade like a rune that is not necessarily following that like tiered pattern with like 4 tiers. Imagine if you could take one of those like really, really interesting and cool other runes that don't necessarily have this tier system. Imagine if you could take that, use the masterworking rune on that, and it would actually improve it. So let's say it's a rune that gives you like 20% more elemental, like specifically 20% more elemental damage. And if you use a masterworking rune on it, it's gonna give you like 25 or 30, you know? That would be cool.
The last one I want to show you today is
Okay, the last one is Alder's Legacy. Bro, yeah, this is one of the really, really cool ones, right?
Aldur's Legacy, a special rune that can be socketed into any Kalguran or Ezomite unique to destroy it, but create a new rune that takes some of the properties of that unique.
Bro. What? Yeah, this is the cool one. So we've kind of very briefly have been over this before, but basically what you can do is that you can socket this into a unique item, which is going to destroy that item, but it's going to create a rune imbued with that item's power. So for the Trample Toe, it's the deal 30% of overkill damage to enemies within 2 meters of the enemy killed. That's like the unique modifier on this. I mean, the movement speed and the increased armor and increased attribute requirements, I mean, those are like regular modifiers, right? Those are not like unique modifiers, but the deal 30% of overkill, that's like a unique modifier. So I'm assuming that what we can do is that we can kind of take that overkill damage from the Trample Toe, put it into or like transform it into a rune, that specific modifier, and then we can slot that modifier into some other items, right? Question is, are we only going to be able to slot them in boots?
So for example, use this on a Trample Toe to create a Legacy of Trample Toe rune.
Yeah, okay, yes, that's a legacy of the Trample Toe. So, as we can see here, like, it's not as strong as the Trample Toe unique modifier itself. So it's not as strong, because the Trample Toe modifier is deal 3%, 30% of overkill. But the rune, the legacy of Trample Toe, is gonna be 10%. So it's going to be 20% less overkill, but I mean, still. And we can only put them in boots, right? That makes sense, right? That's really cool, and it's really interesting, and like, yeah, it's really interesting, because so many times I've been playing like specific items, and especially like specific unique items, where I've been thinking like, oh my god, what if I had this effect, just like a touch of this effect on these other boots, you know, that already has like a lot of other good modifiers that we want. Because what's kind of like what's usually the case is that so as we can see here, like 15% increased movement speed. I mean, that's not the greatest. Like, if you're really going for movement speed, you would probably go for like 25 or 30, you know, up there. And also it only has 4 modifiers, this unique item. So a regular pair of boots would have 6 modifiers. So you would be able to to create some really interesting interesting stuff with this. And I wonder what it's gonna say when you equip it, when you socket it. Let's keep looking, keep watching.
Or Azimite unique to destroy it, but create a new rune that takes some of the properties of that unique.
Very interesting.
So for example, use this on a Trample Toe to create a Legacy of Trample Toe rune. Sock it into any boots and, just like the unique it came from, you'll deal 10% of overkill damage to all enemies in a 2-meter radius. Or how about the Legacy of Twisted Empyrean? Destroy a Twisted Empyrean and you can add
Okay, hold on. What does this do?
You'll deal 10% of
It's going a little bit too fast here. I need to pause.
Or how about the Legacy of Twisted Empyrean?
Okay, so Twisted Empyrean. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, attacks with this weapon have added cold damage equal to 8 to 11% of maximum mana. And it also converts 100% of fire damage with mace skills to cold damage. Okay. So what will we get from this?
Empyrean. Destroy it.
Attacks with this weapon have added cold damage equal to 6 to 10% of maximum mana. Okay, yeah. So it's same as with the Trample Toe, like it's a scaled down version. But this was not as scaled down as the last one. But it's missing, like it doesn't have like the full text of the unique, right? But still. So it has added cold damage equal to 6 to 10% of maximum mana. So that's interesting. That's actually really interesting. To be honest, like I think that's really interesting.
Twisted Empyrean, and you can add cold damage based on your maximum mana to any weapon.
That's cool because it's added. So it's added. You're adding cold damage. It's really cool. And it's also cool that it kind of like scales of your mana.
With Alder's Legacy, you can create another 100
Yeah.
or so runes with all sorts of unique effects.
Yeah.
At this point you might be thinking, that's a lot of new runes. And you'd be right. This is the Runes of Alder after all. But we didn't...
Bro, okay, so the augment tab is getting a refresh, it seems. So now we have like, instead of having like one page, just like one big page, now we actually have 5 different ones here.
Want the old runes to be left behind either. A significant number of the old runes that were not being used have been buffed as well.
Yeah, they've been buffed.
Making this crafting system significantly better. Explore everything runes have to...
Yeah, that's interesting, because, yeah, so they've been buffed, like, I don't know, like, so I don't know the specifics in my head right now. Like, I can't remember the exact specific numbers here. What the Greater Glacial Rune used to be doing and what it's gonna be doing, like like up against what it's gonna be doing. So like the resistance, I think it's 18%. I think that's already, like if you slot it in your armor, you're getting a percentage to resistance. I think that's the same. But maybe the martial weapon one and or like the weapon ones are buffed. I don't know. I don't think the resistance one is buffed. I think it's 18. That's like the greater. But we're also gonna have the perfected ones, right? So yeah, we're gonna have like just a general buff or like a tier up to those runes as well, right? Aren't we? I mean, it doesn't seem like it. Are we not getting? Okay, maybe this is not showing. I don't know, but like this is only showing 3 tiers, right? We already have 3 tiers. I thought we were getting perfected versions. Okay, yeah, now I'm a bit confused. But as we can see here, like we're gonna have 5 different tabs. This seems like Soul Core specific one. And this seems like an Idol specific one. And then we have like 2 other ones. We don't know exactly what they are, but yeah. Really interesting. Like very, very interesting, I think. It's going to be so nice to have them like a little bit separated. And I think that's going to also make it not feel so overwhelming, like having so many new runes, because we are getting a lot of new runes, my dudes.
Well, making this crafting system significantly better. Explore everything runes have to offer in the Return of the Ancients update on May 29th. See you there!
All right. Yeah, so that was it for rune crafting, my dudes. A little teaser right there for the rune crafting. We also have another one we're going to be checking out here in this extreme stalling session. Okay, so here we have one which is Runes of Aldur challenges and rewards.
In Return of the
So that what's kind of cool with this is that in Path of Exile for the longest of times we have had these challenge leagues, right? So in Path of Exile 1, like usually when there is a new league, you have these challenges that you can do that you can complete, and if you complete them all, you will be rewarded. It's usually by some type of cosmetics, but also something that you can put in your hideout, kind of as a trophy in a way. So let's see how this is gonna work for Path of Exile 2.
In Return of the Ancients, we're adding a set of challenges for the first time to a PoE 2 league. Every 2 challenges you complete will give you a piece of the Knight of Aldur armor set.
Okay, that looks kind of cool. That actually looks kind of cool.
So it's worth giving them a shot. To check out your progression and requirements to complete a challenge, just hit H to open up the challenges screen.
Okay. Yeah, so there's gonna be... Okay, so it seems... Okay, so initially there's gonna be like 4 of them, right? 4 of these thresholds that you need to reach. Yeah, I guess it's 4. I don't know what this last one is for, because we have the first one, second one, third one, fourth one. What is this on the end here? I don't know. Is there gonna be a surprise on the end? Yeah. But we have the Rune Seeker, the Hunter, the Ascendant, the Master, Reliquarian, Artisan, Cartographer, and Vanquisher. Yeah, so this we have kind of seen a little bit before. Well, hello, Alex. It does. What does? Are you talking about these challenges? Yeah, I'm stalling. That's what I'm doing. I'm gonna catch up with you guys in the chat when I've watched this this video.
There are 8 challenges in all, and they progress from pretty easy to pretty hard. To complete...
Okay, pretty... Oh, shit, are we actually getting the... Okay. So, okay, so it's... So is he actually gonna show what the challenges is gonna be? Oh my god. Okay. Okay, so the Rune Seeker is inscribe runes from your tome at runic remnants using each of these lengths. 2 runes, 3 runes, 4 runes, 5, 6, and 7 or more. Okay. Yeah, so this is going to be directly tied to the rune crafting on the remnants. Interesting. Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, it's been very hot. Yeah, I've seen that, Alex, that it's UK has some hot times at the moment. It's been quite nice here as well. But not like overwhelming. I wonder what is the Hunter gonna be? It's like, are we gonna be able to see that as well?
It's the Rune Seeker. You'll need to find remnants with an ever-growing number of slots and use them to craft new items.
Yep.
The 7-slot crafts can be pretty challenging, with 6 waves of enemies, so attempting one of these...
Okay, so the 7 crafts is gonna be 6 waves of enemies. Okay, that's interesting.
These fights could require some skill. Throughout the campaign, there are many optional bosses. To complete the Hunter...
Okay, so the Hunter, Bro, is he gonna go through them all, bro? Bro, I hope so. Okay, so the hunter is kill these optional bosses in the campaign. Okay, so it's the Crowbell, Kabbalah the Constrictor Queen, Blackjaw the Remnant, the Great White One, Akti the Final Sting, and Ander the Sandworm. Okay. So just killing these 6 optional bosses in the campaign is gonna give us this achievement right here. Yeah, that's very interesting. It's been 34 degrees Celsius. Oh my god, 34, bro? That's insane. Like, my limit is basically at like 28 Celsius. Oh my god. Yeah, that's a lot. 34, bro? Oh my god, that's like freaking Spain in the middle of the summer temperatures. Yeah, I think it's really cool that we are actually that they are actually showing the challenges here. I think that's really cool. So I'm hoping they are gonna like beef them up a little bit. Because like now the challenges in PoE 1 now, I mean that's quite a lot of challenges you have to do. So I'm hoping they're gonna like beef it up in like following leagues, but I mean they probably are, right? Yeah, you are excited for the new league. There's a few builds you will be playing. Yeah, bro. I've been going, it's like, I've been almost going insane. Just like practicing, running like the same build freaking 100 times the last couple of days. Like, I don't know why I'm doing it. I guess I'm just trying to, you know, prep. But it just makes me freaking insane running the same thing over and over again. There's going to be so many things added, so I really think like this is definitely going to be like the league to like try a bunch of stuff. You feel like you're going to do Twisters as your starter if they haven't nerfed it? Oh yeah, yeah. There's a lot of talk about Twisters. I did some Twister stuff. I think it was probably 0.3, I guess. That was the Dawn of the Hunt, right? So yeah, I did some Twisters on when the Huntress was fresh. If I'm not missing on what league that was. You can't believe that they buffed bows. Yeah. It's just like the... I feel like... So I tried some interesting stuff yesterday. So like I tried playing like some bow stuff. But like starting as the monk class. Like monk playing bows. And it's not as snappy as the ranger. Like it just feels like the ranger is just like so much faster. It feels like... So it definitely didn't feel the same. So I wonder if it's gonna be like totally cracked on like a ranger. Yeah. Snipe shot builds again incoming. Yeah. Yeah, we will see. Yeah, we will see. And you are nice and tanned now. Yeah, from the 34 Celsius. Yeah, I see. Okay, so let's keep watching. Hopefully they're gonna reveal all of these challenges. I mean, the Rune Seeker, like the first one here, I don't know if that's gonna be like particularly difficult. It's like I'm thinking it's probably gonna be like one of the more difficult ones, if like those like waves are gonna be pretty juiced in this league.
You'll need to hunt down 6 of them.
But like the bosses and stuff, I mean, that's super easy.
The last 2, Akthi the Final Sting and Anunda the Sandworm, can be pretty tough to find being in the Kari Crossing. In order to track them down, follow the dry riverbed. You'll find their arena at the end.
Okay.
The Ascendant requires you to...
Okay, so the Ascendant. Okay, the Ascendant acquires us to earn all 8 Ascendancy points by completing the Trials of Ascendancy. Bro, I have a feeling that some people are gonna be rich in currency when it comes to carries for this. I mean, it's gonna be like a free weekend. It's gonna be like some people are gonna set themselves up to like just be able to like sell carries for currency for these ascendancies. I mean, this has been crazy at like league starts earlier as well. It's been crazy. But yeah, I mean, I think for the first time in 0.4, that was actually the first time I got all my 8 ascendancy points. So yeah. Yes, this is interesting. Like, we don't know how it's gonna feel like with all the tweaks and stuff, but like the last ascendancy at least, it's been quite the challenge actually. I spent some time figuring out that last ascendancy, or yeah, the last trial. You only ever had 6? Yeah, 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 yeah. That last one is a bit rough. It's like if you're doing this, like I haven't done the chaos one, but I've done the Sakuma one, and basically like the Sakuma one, it's you have to know the mechanics basically. So you kind of like have to, if you don't know the mechanics, you gotta learn the mechanics for it. But it's not that bad, like if you actually know the mechanics. What is bad is that like if you go in there and you don't know the mechanics, you are actually gonna like lose your entire run. Because if you die in the trial, you're out of there.
To gain all 8 points of your Ascendancy class by doing Ascendancy trials. Getting the final set of points can be pretty challenging though. You'll either need to defeat Zarok on the 4th level of the trial of the
Yeah, this is the Sakuma one, and it's like you have to know the mechanics, or else you're gonna get like one shot basically.
Sakumas, or defeat the Trial Master from the Trial of Chaos by finding all 3
Bro, the freaking Trial Master. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, honestly, like I don't know about that one. Bro, yeah, that's gonna be rough. But like maybe we have to kind of like set a goal for ourselves that like one of our characters this league is actually gonna beat the freaking Trial Master.
keys. Of the 2, the Trial of Chaos will take you much longer due to having to run the trial multiple times, but the Trial of the Sakumas is more challenging. So you'll have to decide which of these 2
It's more challenging, like yeah. So I guess like it's more challenging, like mechanic wise. But like I wonder why he says that. Why it's more challenging? Like, isn't the Trial Master gonna be like a like I basically like skipped even trying that. Yeah, so the Trial Master is hard taking damage wise. Yeah. Yeah, so the Trial of Chaos, like it doesn't work exactly the same as Sakumas, because in Sakumas you have like the honor stuff, right? You don't have that in the Trial of Chaos. So in the Trial of Chaos you just have to pick what nasty modifier you want, and you can choose from 3 nasty modifiers and just like pick the one of the like pick the lesser evil basically. Yeah, I mean there is a lot of nasty mechanics and you have to choose one in the Trial of Chaos. So yes, I guess that's also something that you kind of like have to keep in mind when you're doing the Trial of Chaos. You kind of like have to think about what you're actually adding. You got to think about like what's later down the line in the trial. You actually kind of have to think about that as you're picking your earlier nasty modifiers.
paths to take. The Reliquarian is simple. Identify 50 different unique items.
Yeah, the Reliquarian, yeah, that's actually quite simple. You just gotta ID 50 unique items. Yeah. Yeah, and it's gonna be way easier to get the unique items as well, right? Now, like, not necessarily like way easier, but like there are like deterministic things that we can do to hunt for uniques, right? It's the ritual. Ritual, which is gonna only include unique items and omens. Yeah. Yeah, so this one gonna be an easy one. But that ascendancy one, bro. Yeah, I think like that's definitely gonna be like one of the harder ones. So I think it's nice that even though they've added not that many challenges, like still some of them are gonna be quite challenging. I think that's nice.
Having a tough time finding uniques? Jardo, the Atlas Master, has a lot of abilities that specialize in finding them.
What? Hold up. Okay, so one of the ascendancy masters has a mod that you can pick that makes map bosses drop additional unique items. What? Bro, that's interesting. That is very interesting. Huh.
To complete the Artisan, you'll need to use a bunch of different crafting items.
Okay, the artisan, that's the that's the next one here. It's craft an item using each of these verisium ingredients. Yeah. Yeah, so we're gonna get like a bunch of these alloys and verisium and flux. Okay, so verisium, alloy, and flux. And crest, I guess. These are all gonna be like new crafting ingredients. Okay, so we're gonna have to craft with every single one of them. What I think is really, really cool about this challenge is that it's actually incentivizing us to craft, like it's giving us a specific reason to craft on the gear. That's cool. Yeah, we're gonna have alloy rims. Yeah, spinners, I hope. Yeah. Yeah, this is cool. This is really cool because we are really so this is really gonna, so if you are gonna go for these challenges, like this is gonna be a great opportunity to learn more about this. I think that's really great. I think it's good that they are adding it to the challenges so it doesn't just like drown in all of the other stuff that's actually also coming this league. Low rider hydraulics. Yeah, low rider alloy hydraulics. Yeah.
All of which come from remnant encounters.
Okay, so all of these, okay, so we're getting some like drops of information here as well. So all of these are gonna come from those remnant encounters. The remnant encounters is really reminding me, or like really making me think about, like, I can't remember what the name of that Path of Exile 1 league was, but it was the league, I think it was like, it was not the one before King's March, it was the one after before that. I just can't remember what it's called. We could craft some like really, really cool stuff on our items, but we had to do these encounters, which kind of reminds me of these encounters. Are the remnants random in maps? So like so how I understand it is that the remnant encounters, they are going to be like the league mechanic. So that's the mechanic that you're going to be encountering. So basically there's going to, since this is yeah, yeah, you're going to be encountering them throughout the campaign. And then obviously an end game. The rune inscribing, yeah, but yeah, so that's what they are called. It's the remnants. So that's like it's almost like a floating stone or something on the map, and you kind of like you have to trigger it, but the way you trigger it is by choosing um like a craft that's gonna like if you're going for like a very easy one, like the encounter is gonna be easy. If you're going for like a very or like a more expensive type of reward, it's gonna be worse. So it's gonna scale in difficulty, like depending on how many runes you're actually using to, or like what recipe you're crafting, basically. Yeah. So it's this encounter that, so like I don't know if it's gonna be like in like directly connected to like the expedition encounters, if that's where they are gonna spawn, like as you would have like an expedition mechanic in your map, right? If like it's gonna be connected to that, like that's kind of like what I'm thinking. So I don't know if we're gonna have, if these remnants are gonna like just spawn randomly like outside of the expedition. I'm not sure. We will have to wait and see. But like what I have caught on the information from earlier is that like at least there's gonna be a possibility for them to like spawn together with like the expedition mechanic. What starters are you gonna make? Bro, I have not decided yet. I'm not yet decided. I don't know. So I'm torn, like I've said probably a million times before, like I'm torn between like going with a build that I already know, that I've already made, just to kind of like as quickly as possible get to the end game. I'm either going to do that, or I'm going to do something like completely different. I'm not sure, but it's between, like, so that's what I need to decide. You think you're going to go monk, ranger, huntress? Yeah. Depending on how okay, so here's what I'm going to say. So depending on how the campaign feels, like, it's going to depend, so like how many different characters I'm going to make, it's going to depend on how the campaign feels. If the campaign feels as long still, if it still feels like, you know, you have to play freaking 2 full days to complete it, or like, you know, between 10 to 20 hours, you know, to complete it. Because if I'm doing the campaign on like a brand new ascendancy that I haven't played a lot before, I mean, obviously it's going to take more time because I'm going to have to figure out how to make it work. So I'm not sure. So the reason why I'm not sure is because I'm thinking, so here's the thing, I'm thinking if I go through the campaign on a build that I already know, I'm gonna be faster. You know, I'm gonna be faster to the end game, and I'm gonna be able to like farm more currency and stuff for like the other characters I'm gonna be making. Um, yeah, it's either that or just like just completely like throw that out of the window and just like go for some of the new things. And like if I'm going for some of the new things, like if I'm going for any of the 2 new ascendancies, it's gonna be the huntress, because I've been playing so much monk. Oh my god, I've been playing monk for like hundreds and hundreds of hours. So if I'm going for any of the new stuff to begin with, it's definitely gonna be the Huntress, the Spirit Walker. But yeah, I mean everyone is gonna play that, right? Yeah, Twister, Spirit Walker. Yeah, that could be insane. I mean, that's already kind of like so like the Twister thing is kind of like already a well-known combo with like the whirling assaults and the elemental effects on the floor, whirling assaults, twisters all across your screen. Yeah, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm still deciding.
For the cartographer, you'll need to allocate your entire atlas tree, all 300 nodes. You can do this the slow way by completing all the maps inside the fortress, but there's another way.
Okay, hold on.
You'll need to allocate your entire atlas tree.
Bro, what? Wait, hold up. So for the cartographer, you actually have to allocate all the nodes. If the atlas tree is gonna work anyway, like similar to like the existing atlas tree, that means that everything you're looking at right here, all these nodes are gonna, or like a lot of them are gonna increase the difficulty. They are gonna increase the difficulty of the encounters in your maps. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. So it really means that we're really gonna have to like work for it. Bring it on. Yeah, we're really gonna have to work for it. But I love how. So what I really like about this, or like the way they are introducing this and the way they are kind of like making this explanatory videos, it kind of gives us this very clear vision or a very clear path to like if you want to take your build as far as freaking possible, this is kind of like what you need to do, right? If you can handle like the highest tier of maps with all these with all these modifiers on it, then you gotta build, right? It's kind of like the thing here, right? So what I'm really hoping is that like I'm really hoping most of the builds are gonna be able to do this. You definitely need a cheap starter to fund more expensive builds. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be a journey. That's all I can say. Like allocating all the freaking Atlas passive tree here. So we haven't seen this fleshed out yet, right? So we don't know yet what all these nodes are, do we? The Atlas tree is not released, is it? I don't think it is. Yeah, it's only the passive skill tree that's added here, but is there any other... Excuse me. Is there any other, like, path? Okay, so... Path of Exile 2. Atlas passive tree 0.5. I don't think we have access to the Atlas tree. Like we did get the new passive tree. Like what's done with that? What about PoE Ninja? Yeah, we did get the passive tree. We had a look at this in yesterday's session, actually. We did have a look at the changes here. So we went over all this. Like we went over all the 112 added nodes, the 20 removed ones, and the 219 changed ones. We went over them all. My intention was actually to upload that as like 2 separate videos. So I think I'm gonna try to do that at some point. But we don't have the Atlas tree itself. So we do not know what the changes to that is gonna be. Or I mean, we do know there is a lot of changes, but like we don't have the specifics.
Tree, all 300 nodes. You can do this the slow way by completing all the maps inside the fortress.
Okay, so we can do it the slow way by doing all the maps inside the fortress. Okay. Or...
But there's another way too. Each time you defeat the Arbiter of Divinity, you'll gain the ability to automatically complete a large section of the fortress.
Okay, so how many so like a large section, like how many are we talking here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15. Yeah, so let's say it's like 20 here and like maybe 20. So maybe like between like 40 and 50 nodes every time you complete the Arbiter of Divinity. So if your build is strong enough, you can basically farm the Arbiter of Divinity, so you don't have to do this. So you don't have to do like the 300 maps one by one inside the fortress. So that's the 2 different ways you can unlock the Atlas passives. Bro, I think this is such a much better way to do this than like the old like corruption way of doing it. They have made divines more common. Yes, they have. Divines are gonna be more common, yes. Like we don't know like how much more common, but like yeah, more common than they have been, yes. Yeah, so this is cool. Like I think this is cool that we can actually choose to, if we want to do like the 300 maps inside the fortress, or if we want to farm the Arbiter of Divinity. Like we don't know how difficult that's gonna be. I mean, if you're on a really, really good high-level build, a really good build, it's probably, I mean, it's probably going to be easier, but yeah. Yeah, it really depends on how hard the Divinity is, to be honest, right? It really does. It really does. But, I mean, if you are... yeah, so I think it's going to be interesting to kind of see like the different maps and stuff inside the fortress, because it seems like they put quite a lot of work into like the fortress and the maps inside. Like there are going to be like specific modifiers inside the maps, as far as as far as I remember correctly. Like there's going to be like some cool stuff inside the fortress maps that's not going to be like in the maps outside of the fortress. So yeah, I mean, it's gonna depend, but I don't think that I do not think the Arbiter of Divinity is gonna be an easy fight. I don't think it's gonna be easy. But I mean, at least we have the option, right? And that's cool.
Find keys to his fight by searching for citadels in the Atlas.
Okay, so we're gonna find keys for Arbiter by citadels. So citadels is still gonna be the way to get the keys for the the pinnacle.
Each of them have big glowing beams so you can see them in the fog. After fighting them 4 times, the entire fortress will be completed. And last but certainly not least, the Vanquisher. This challenge requires killing 3 pinnacle bosses.
Okay, so here we have to kill 3 endgame pinnacle bosses. Vessel of Kulamak, that's the abyss one, right?
The hardest fights in the game.
The hardest fights in the game.
Tangmazu, the Bodark, and the Vessel of Kulamak. These are the pinnacles of Delirium, Ritual, and Abyss Leagues. So you'll need to do these 3 quest lines in order to do this challenge.
Yeah, and that's also cool, like the whole quest line thing. I think that's really cool. It's really cool, like that the existing mechanics now also have like quest lines. That's really cool. Hopefully that's gonna make it like easier to understand what you should be doing, right? It's casual friendly.
One important thing with the Vessel of Kulamak, though, is you need to defeat him at full strength. That means risking the item during the boss fight by returning the...
The question, though, is going to be like, so yes, the explanation of how you should do it is casual friendly. But are casual players going to feel like the difficulty of what you need to do is like way too hard or like way too time consuming? That's a totally different question, right?
finger and defeating him anyway. Now, as I said before, every 2 challenges you complete will get you pieces of the armor set, so you don't have to do all of them to get some rewards. But if you do, you'll be able to show off your prowess, because everyone in global chat or in the forums can see how many challenges you've earned. You'll also get this totem decoration for your hideout.
Yeah, that's the totem right there, bro. That's really cool. That looks really cool. Yeah, that's what we are that's what we're going for, my dudes. Yeah, we have to do the challenges, bro. So like in my mind, I'm thinking like, yeah, challenge is gonna be that's gonna be no problem, right? But I mean, we do not know how hard this is gonna be. We do not know. Do them all on a fire sork. Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, depending on like how fast we are gonna get through like the first character and kind of like do everything, that's gonna like decide. I'm thinking that's gonna decide what other things we're gonna do. But you know, the fire sword, that's the freaking that's the true hardcore experience. That's the true hardcore experience, bro. How many days until the currency exploit is found? Well, it didn't take... It did not take that long in 0.4 before it was found. What was the issue in 0.4 is that it wasn't fixed very early, you know, because it was yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so, but if you are going for, you know, if you're going for that, like, true, non-trading, Like, if you really want to see if you can, you know, beat the game, you should try it, you know, without trading. Then you don't have to worry about those things. If that's like something that you worry about, like if you worry about like currency exploits and stuff like that, like if that's like a real concern, you should go SSF, bro. SSF, solo self-found. That's gonna remove all those worries. It's gonna make things a whole lot harder, but it's gonna remove the worries. You love trading? Yeah. I mean, I love trading too. Like, I love that game mode, but I also think SSF is really, really interesting because what SSF kind of forces you to do, it kind of forces you to really learn the systems, you know? So I think it's a great way to like increase just like the general knowledge of things. Because at least for me, like I can get a little bit like my brain goes a little bit all over the place. If when I have like access basically to like everything, then I like it just gets too much sometimes.
Meaning that forevermore, people who trade with you will be able to
Yeah, but this totem, we need this totem.
see that you were there and you defeated the League. Try out these challenges and more on May 29th in Return of the Ancients.
Yeah, SSF is a great learning mode for hardcore players. Yeah, I mean, not necessarily only like hardcore player or like, you know, but I mean, if you learn things or like the things that you learn in SSF, you can 100% like use in trade as well. It's just that like you are not in a situation where you can just like trade for anything. So that really means that everything that you pick up, you really have to kind of think and learn how to use those things that you're picking up, right? Yeah, hardcore you mean by grinders? Yeah, I understand. Yeah. Yeah. So it all depends, you know. It all depends like how you actually want to um how you want to experience the game, basically. I mean, it can go the other way around as well, you know? So, like, doing trade, you can also learn a lot of stuff that you can use in SSF. So it kind of goes both ways. Can't wait to try the runes. Yeah, true, bro. True. Same. There is a lot of new ones. You would feel like you would enjoy SSF more as a group or a duo. Yeah, but the thing with SSF is that's kind of like the point, right? Kind of like the point with SSF is that you're not supposed to be playing with any other players. Like, you're not supposed to be able to get any form of help, basically. That's kind of like the thing. But it would be cool if they added a game mode that was like something in between like trade and SSF, right? So like a game mode where you can't trade with other people than apart from like the people that are in your specific party. But I mean that I guess that means you have to kind of like decide up front like who is gonna be able to, you know, you have to set up that like that mode so that you can't like you know, at like 2 weeks into the league, like you can't just get someone in that has like a bunch of currency and they just give it to you, you know? Yeah, like RuneScape has SSF Iron Man Then they made group Iron Man. Yeah. Yeah, that could be like that could be a cool mode. Like so trade. So a mode where like trade is enabled, like you can only trade with the set amount of people that you kind of like start your mode in type of thing. So yeah, that would be interesting. Um, but for now, it's just like for now, it's like if you want to do the trading, if you want to like have access to turn your items into currency or turn the stuff that you are dropping into something else that you really want or that you really need or whatever. Yeah, then you should go trade. If you want like the true experience of like learning basically everything about the systems and stuff, SSF might be the way to go. Yeah, so like the duo mode, you all share a storage and you all start and finish together. Yeah, basically. Yeah, so there has to be some type of restriction there, right? Or there should be some type of restriction there that you have to play together. So if you're not playing together, I mean, there would probably still be a way to kind of like cheese that system as well, right? And that's kind of like why it's really cool that like SSF mode, it's strictly SSF. There is no way. So it's also like a way of like letting people know if you're playing SSF, you are kind of like letting everyone else also know that like they are not going to be able to join your game. They are not going to be able to trade with you. You are not like being able to trade. So yeah, it basically requires something totally different. Or at least it requires. So the biggest difference is, you know, I'm playing usually every league. I'm playing all of the above. Like I'm playing trade. I'm playing SSF. Um, Also hardcore SSF. Like hardcore SSF is probably the game mode that I've been playing the least, apart from just like straight up hardcore. Because I feel like if we are playing hardcore, we might as well do it SSF. Like I have that like kind of SSF brain almost. So probably like SSF would be like the probably SSF would be like the way for me to go, but yeah, trading is also really fun, you know. But yeah, I feel like the big difference for me at least is the biggest difference is like, so I really want to learn, you know, I really want to learn as much as possible. I don't want to have a build that can just like get to end game super quick, like a tried and tested like campaign super speed build. Um, I don't necessarily want to do that because I feel like there are so many new like runes and stuff that's also being added now. You know, there's so many things that I would really love to have like a better look at and not feel like if I'm not freaking trading all the time, you know, if I'm not trading all the time, I'm gonna like fall behind on the economy. So to me, like the reason for going, like usually when I go, or at least earlier when I have gone SSF, is like when I get to that point where I feel like, okay, I have a lot of currency, um, but freaking don't know what to do with it. Like when I get to that point where I have so freaking much currency that like I can basically like buy almost anything, that's kind of like game over, you know? It's kind of like game over, and it's gonna take you some time, even playing trade, like, or at most people, it's gonna take them some time, you know? So I feel like it would be so much more interesting to just do SSF and try to do as much as I possibly can, you know? Like that would be like, I think, like a great challenge, actually. Yeah, because usually what's happening, yeah, you're right, Alex. So here's the thing. Usually what's happening, I mean, now we are getting like enormous rework to the end game, so we don't know, we have no idea like how long it's gonna take us. So I mean, there are probably some people out there that are pretty fast gonna be able to like get to the end game and just like clear the atlas and do all the things, and they are kind of like basically done, because there is a lot of people that are kind of like going for that approach every single league. Like they're playing for a couple of weeks, maybe a month, you know, and then they kind of like have everything, they've done everything, because they are so efficient when it comes to like the trading and the crafting, so they are able to kind of like get their characters to a certain level that like makes them able to do anything in the game. And at that point, it's kind of like, okay, so either you create a new character and you do it all over again with like a bunch more currency, or you just quit. You just quit the league. You just say, yeah, that's a GG, that's a good league, that was cool. Like, a lot of people is playing the game that way. But then you have other people that are not necessarily interested in kind of feeling that the game is kind of ending, you know? So they don't ever want to kind of get to that point where they feel like there is nothing to do, right? But you're totally right, Alex, about what you say, that you usually just grind the end game, max and your build the best you can, and just dump all your currency at the end into the Eternal and wait for next league. Yeah, but so that brings up the question, like, when does the league end for you? Like, is that changing this league? Is it going to be when you have all the challenges? Is it going to be when you have kind of like done it all, or like when does it end? Like when do you think like this league is gonna end for you? Do you feel like it's so what I'm asking is like, do you feel that there is a clearer kind of end point to a character this league? It's changing this league. You want to try to make 3 endgame builds, yeah. So with 3 endgame builds, what do you mean? Like, do you mean 3 builds that you get through the campaign? Or do you mean like 3 different builds that can do all of the stuff in the end game? That can do it all, bro. Yeah, so this is going to be quite a long league for you then. This is going to be quite a long league. Because, I mean, you are looking at, like, if you are quite fast, Like I know that you are not the person that like runs the campaign in like 3 hours. That I know. So you are looking at you are probably looking at, I would say, like between 30 and 60 hours just getting those 3 characters to endgame. And then it's the entire freaking grind. I mean, obviously, like, your characters are gonna share the atlas, I'm pretty sure. So you won't have to do all the atlas things over and over again. You actually only have to do them on one, right? But that's also gonna make it potentially, like, more difficult for you on the other characters in that game, right? Because you already have all the points. I mean, you can, like, allocate them and, turn them on and off, I guess. But, yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see how that's gonna work as well, I think. Yeah. So here is my kind of like my issue with playing trade. So I have this character, right? From 0.4. He's level 96. I've, I've spent so many hours trying to get this character from 96 to 97. But since that freaking character is in Trade League, I get totally swept up by the freaking fact that I can trade, and I have more focus on trying trying to get this like endless amount of currency just so I can sell it, because it feels really good, to drop something that you can sell for like a nice chunk of currency. I kind of like get a little bit stuck in that when playing trade. You get me? You're just gonna focus one, but and fund the other two. Yeah, but I mean, I understand that you're gonna fund them, but it's still gonna take you some time just getting through the campaign, right? And then when they are all online, you can switch between them and play the playstyle you want on the fly, bro. Yeah. Well, you're gonna have like, or they have actually said that they're gonna do like an economy reset between 0.5 and 1.0. So I guess they are kind of like aiming for a 3-month league. I think they are aiming for a 3-month league. Because there is going to be an economy reset. So all these things that you want to do, you're going to have to be able to do them in 3 months, bro. Yeah, I think you should just like get a refrigerator in your gaming room. You should just like get like an oven where you can cook food, and maybe get one of those chairs where you can just like you can sit upright in it, but you can also like lean it back so you can just sleep in the chair. Yeah, the league ends in December, but what they have said is that there is going to be like an economy reset, right? There is going to be like almost like a new league, but it's not necessarily going to be like a huge big thing. Like, it's not going to be anywhere close to like 0.5, like the jump from 0.4 to 0.5. Like, it's not going to be any of that. I don't know if it's gonna be treated as like a. I don't know if it's gonna be treated as like a full reset. I'm not 100% sure. Let me see if I can actually find where they are talking about this. Okay, so when was the reveal? Bro, it feels like ages ago. It feels like ages ago since the reveal, not gonna lie. Yeah, where is this info? Yeah, so Jonathan, so like I think it was in the reveal or like in the interview after the reveal, the interview with Siggy D. I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to see if there are any like timestamps or anything. Okay, so here's the content reveal. Okay, so they actually don't have the interview with Siggy D. Is actually that's actually not on the website. Okay, so maybe so I guess it's on Siggy D's website, Siggy D's YouTube. Yeah, the Q&A. Okay. So are there any timestamps here? Endgame deep dive. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I heard them mentioning like that there is gonna be some type of, you know. Is there any way for me to kind of okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna try. So is there going to be a league between 0.5 and 1.0 in PoE 2? Okay. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So there's gonna be so it seems like there are gonna be challenge leagues. At least that's what AI is telling me here. So yeah, 0.5 is going to be the final major update. All future fresh league starts, and full economy resets will be held for official 1.0 launch. While there won't be a brand new fresh start challenge league between now and launch, you can still expect smaller iterative updates. Yeah, like economy resets, mini leagues. Developers have noted that the period between 0.5 and 1.0 may feature special mini events or shorter competitive leagues. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, so that's the thing, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so I guess maybe I misunderstood a little bit. Like I thought there was actually going to be like a reset at some point. But yeah, I guess I'm wrong. But so what it's gonna be is it gonna be this? It's gonna be like these private leagues and stuff. That's a huge relief. Yeah, I mean, if you're planning like the next freaking 6 months of your life playing PoE 2, I mean, yeah, that's a relief. 100%. Yeah, so you do know like how a private league works, right? You don't want to take a little break and come back to nothing mid-league. Yeah, so what happened? So this is a little bit interesting, right? Because what happened with the launch of 0.4, the last league, what happened there was the currency exploiting things, you know, or like those strategies that some people were doing. And other people kind of like felt left out. So what was like a consequence of that was that there were these private leagues that were created so people could do like a fresh start. Yeah, so the snaking, the temple snakes and stuff, like that was part of it, but it was so like some people were able to kind of like figure this out, and there was like some serious nerfs that should have been in the temple that like they were so late. So like a lot of like the basically like a lot of the content from like 0.4 was like all this freaking snake drama. Like some people were able to build these insane temples that were giving them insane amount of currencies. And that like put a lot of people off, especially like people that only want to play trade. So you know, if you only want to play trade and some like economy stuff like that happens, which like pushes really like, you know, if you're not doing it yourself, it kind of like pushes you down in a way, you know, like holding you back a little bit because like there is kind of like a gap. Like some players might feel like there is a gap between themselves and like higher up players, because like the higher up players maybe have like discovered some type of like, so people were saying that like some of these players was doing exploits, but like none of them was banned. So they weren't actually necessarily exploiting, but they were able to figure out a way, you know, to do these things kind of like totally legally, because like none of their stash tabs were like deleted, or none of their characters were banned. The economy is the exciting part, you think? You remember selling the Abyss Omens day 2 for 260 exalts. Yeah. Yeah, so if you know how to upgrade your build, right? If you have a clear vision on like how to upgrade, so like if you get those 260 exalts, like you are potentially going to be able to you know, early, if you get those 260 exalts early, you're really going to be able to like get way better gear, and it's gonna, yeah, basically like make you almost able to kind of skip a lot of it basically like skip a lot of the progression of your character, basically. So that's kind of like what all that currency is making you able to do. So like it's making you very much stronger. So if you get like, if the economy is in a state where like 260 exalts or like a divine is gonna get you something really, really good, you are obviously in like a better situation than a person that hasn't dropped any divines. And obviously, like the more you're playing, the more currency you're gonna get. I mean, you can get super lucky and get those like super rare drops that you can, you know, vendor for a lot of currency. But yeah, yeah, there are people that's strictly playing Path of Exile for just like the economy aspect of it. Like they want to see how much wealth can they acquire, and like how much currency basically can you like put into your build, and to like really, really see the potential of the build, right? Yeah, your starter is going to be 10 divine roughly. You went the cheapest first. Yeah, so you already looked at like build guides and stuff, and you already picked what you want to play, right? At launch, you're going to be up all night. Yeah, bro, I have some sad news for my situation. So I was actually in a situation where I was going to be able to play a lot on like launch weekend, but that has changed, unfortunately. That has changed. So I do have some business that I need to attend to. I will be going out tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday to do business. So that's a little rough. I'm trying not to worry too much about it, even though I'm thinking a lot about it. So yeah, yeah, that's my situation. Super good question, Alex. Are you going to feel economy FOMO? That's a very good question. Because, like, my initial thought when you ask that question, like, my initial thought is no. And the reason why I'm not gonna feel the FOMO is because I know that my situation is like this. Like, if I was in a situation right now at this moment where all I could do was like streaming and streaming League Start, and I didn't have to do anything else in my life, basically, then yes, I would probably have like a kind of like an economy FOMO, I think. I think it would have been maybe potentially like the economy FOMO that had actually been driving me to play like extreme amounts, I think. So because I know that for like day one League Start, so that's in basically, yeah, when is that? It's in, yeah, 2 days. 2 days and 2 hours, or two days and 1.5 hours. So that means that it's gonna be so local time for me. It's gonna be 10 o'clock in the evening. So 10 o'clock in the evening on Friday. That's when it's gonna launch. So I'm gonna be able to play at launch. I'm not gonna be able to stay up all night to play because I have business to take care of on Saturday. But if I don't approach this league in a trade manner, but I actually approach it in like an SSF manner, I think maybe that's gonna be better for me personally. Like the FOMO, the FOMO that I have is that I'm not going to be able in SSF, I'm not going to be able to kind of like see the same type of items. I'm not going to be able to experience the same type of like build strength, or at least it's going to take like a lot more work for me to get there versus like someone who's trading. But since I'm having these restrictions, since I'm actually having some restrictions on League Start with like the amount of time that I can actually play, like I can't play 24/7 for like the first couple of days. I just can't. So are you doing SSF League Start, you're asking? I am not I have not 100% decided. But I think maybe that's the way for me to go. This league, at least. So mainly, I want to be a Path of Exile 2 streamer and content creator. This is like what I mainly, this is the game that I mainly want to be streaming and also like making content on. So thinking about things in like that perspective as well, I think I'm gonna get more knowledge about the new systems. I think I'm gonna get like more knowledge of the new systems. I'm gonna feel like, because I feel like if that's one thing that I really want to get better at in this game is like understanding the systems. Not only the new system that they're adding, but also like there's going to be a lot of content, right, in these reworked mechanics as well. So there's going to be a lot to basically cover and kind of like wrap our heads around. I'm gonna have to think about like a clever way to present it though. But I feel like there is a much smaller chance, or like, I mean, there is a non-existing chance for me to get like caught up in the trade FOMO if I just decide to not do trade at all. I've really been wanting to play SSF. Almost like since the freaking release of the early access, I basically kind of like wanted to. So like I really, really love the I really, really love what they have done to like the trading system. Like the updates and everything, and they are doing some really cool updates in the trade system now as well, like with the price checking and everything, all those new cool things that you can do as well. But yeah, like I said earlier, like I really feel like to really feel like I learn and understand how a bunch of these systems work on like a deeper level, and also to understand how like the items work on a deeper level, I need to freaking figure out how to get them myself. I need to figure this out. There is so many paths basically that we can take now already to get the things that we need for like our specific builds that we're playing. But having to actually figure out what's going to be the next upgrade, how the heck am I going to get it, and like especially when we get to like that really high end like end game, where it just feels like your build is kind of like hitting a brick wall almost, and there is so many potential things that you can do, but you just feel like totally overwhelmed by all the things you can do. It would be maybe better to kind of like potentially be in that situation earlier than like at the freaking waist deep into the end game, right? I kind of feel like it's probably gonna make me a more efficient and like a better player just all in all going SSF. But I have not decided. I have not decided yet. But I feel like if the FOMO does not get me, if I'm not taken by the FOMO, I will be doing SSF. If the FOMO takes me, I will do trade. And I feel like this is such a long league that, like, if I decide to go trade first and then do SSF later, or if I decide to do SSF first and then go trade later, like, I feel like that's gonna be potato, you know? My goal is to learn more about the systems and also become like a more efficient player. So that's my goals. But my dudes, this is gonna be it for this stalling session, because I cannot stay up all night doing this because I have some business to take care of tomorrow. So I will be doing some more extreme stalling. I will be doing some more extreme stalling tomorrow. That's my plan. The exact time of when I'm gonna do like the extreme stalling part 2, I don't know when I will be doing this. So it's either gonna be early. So that would mean like it's either gonna be like 12-ish hours from now, or it's gonna be in the evening tomorrow, which means it's gonna be like 24 hours. Mounts and stalling tails. Yeah, mounts and stalling tails. So, yeah. I just wanted to check out these couple of new videos that was released on a little bit more info on the crafting, rune crafting, and also a little bit more info on the challenge league. And so my goal is basically achieved for this session. And yeah, I'm like your PoE2 news and help. Well, that's great. Like, I'm really trying this new format, at least now, you know, just like covering the news and like covering the new releases of the videos and stuff. Like, I'm really trying to do that to the best of my abilities. I hope it's helping. I hope it's giving you some joy. And I hope that my efforts in PoE2 will keep helping people and shine some lights on some stuffs on this like very extensive game that is about to become way bigger, my dudes. It's about to become way bigger in 2 days, 1 hours and 31 minutes and 0 seconds right there on the clock. So that's going to be it for this session, my dudes. I'm Mounts and Fairy Tales. You are you. If you like what you're seeing, hit me up with a like. If you want to see more content like this, consider subscribing. You can now also actually subscribe on Twitch. If you didn't know, you can actually subscribe on Twitch. I was just given the upgrades on my Twitch channel to do that. So if you feel like you're in a such situation where you want to support in any form of way, you can hit me up with a sub on Twitch. But all in all, I'm just happy that you are here watching. Okay, Twitch affiliate. Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, I mean, just hit the like button and consider subscribing if you want to see more of this content. At the moment, I'm not either YouTube or Twitch exclusive. I'm kind of like on both platforms right now. And if nothing drastically changes, like that's how it's going to be moving forward. And yeah, that's going to be it, my dudes. I hope you have a wonderful evening or rest of the day or whatever the time is where you're at watching this. And I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.